it's a blast because obviously we played together for many years in Scarve. I think he joined the band in '95, so that means we played together for quite a while. And then, he's a fantastic guitar player, on top of being a good friend of mine. And so, when the opportunity came for him to join the band, it was definitely an exciting moment. We hadn't really hung out in several years. And anyways, I think that he really adds something to the band. And, I think people will see that with this album, that he definitely adds, his own personal touch, and can't wait to see the people's reactions to that. No, we didn't do any rehearsing at all. We've all been very busy. It would have been ideal to rehearse together. We would have preferred doing that, but unfortunately, being pretty spread out and being very busy, it just wasn't possible. So we all worked at home, sent each other files over the internet with different ideas and sending files back and forth. It was a little bit of a challenge to go into the studio without ever really having played the songs with anyone, but on the other hand, challenges are fun. Well, from my point of view, it's definitely one of my most, if I say technical, people are going to take it the wrong way, but I would say like technically challenging stuff to play. It doesn't mean that the songs are all like completely like over the top technicality, like 100%, because that's not the case. There's definitely some very groovy, Soilwork tracks in there. But as far as the actual drum parts go, there's a lot of challenging stuff going on and difficult stuff to play. And I'm very excited about that because, I felt unsworn. Maybe things were thrown together a little quickly on certain drum beats. And, same thing, we hadn't rehearsed much at all for that. And, I'm really happy that with this one we took the time to really build the drum parts. And I have to say, by the way, that, stuff that both Sylvain and Peter came up with on these songs, because they made demos with some elaborate drum parts for certain parts in songs, and there were some really great ideas there that were a challenge for me to actually play. So they definitely have their their credit when it comes to those drum parts as well. Yes. That's a good one. It's just a unique feeling to play drums, and it just takes me someplace that I don't go any other way. And at this point, obviously I still listen to a lot of music, as I always have, but I'm not sure, it's really just become a way of expressing myself that's quite unique, in the sense that there's nothing else that I can think of that happens that way for me, So at this point I feel very much of like a connection with the instrument, and I don't think really about what I'm doing more than I feel it. So I think my main inspiration is really just that feeling that I get when I'm sitting down and playing beats. It's the best way I can describe it. Well, I think they'll be surprised pleasantly, and I think that this album is definitely, very colorful, intense. I think it covers a very wide array of different things, and without losing the Soilwork identity, definitely, because it sounds a lot like Soilwork, but there's definitely a lot of inspiration going on, and I think that people from fans from every era of this band can find stuff in there. Of course, the people that are hoping for an album that's completely poppy or an album that's completely extreme will be disappointed, I guess. But I think we're past that phase. I think for us, a record is a roller coaster of different things, and a trip that you live from the beginning to the end. And this one definitely will be that.